Hello and welcome to another special Franchise Hockey Manager 4 stream. My name is Adam. I am the community manager. Not with me as always is FHM producer Jeff. This is a special Monday stream of Franchise Hockey Manager 4 where we're picking up our long dormant Seattle Kraken franchise. It's been quite a while since we've done this franchise, so let's kind of recap what has happened. Since the last time I moved us all the way up to the beginning of the 2022-2023 season. Last season we finished at 43, 29, and 10 for 96 points. I believe that let us get into the playoffs where we played Dallas. Unfortunately, we lost 4-0, 4 straight in round 1 and lost out. So what did that mean? Well, we had one Rookie of the Year. Sorry, not Rookie of the Year, that's not correct. We had one player who was on the all-rookie team, Sebastian Sorenson, who was an undrafted free agent out of the WHL. In the off-season, we put together a decent draft, but I'm just trying to remember what else we did. Because again, it's been a while since we've done this. CS Hi 312, thanks for coming out. We picked up Zach Rzinski as a free agent. We also signed Jacob Voracek and Thomas Yanda. Andrew Bromley was one of our draft picks, and Sebastian Petit. A couple of these guys were overage free agents. We traded away Dmitry Orlov, picked up an extra second and third round pick. And so we sent some guys up and down. We also signed Tyler Myers as a backup defenseman who's to play in our minor leagues. And Peter Pollock, who was one of our draft picks from a few years ago. So if we look at our depth chart, as a reminder of kind of what's going on with our team, we have Andrew Bromley, who was our first round pick this past year. I believe he was, at least. We drafted him at number 5 in 2022, yes. We had traded up in picks, so we got Bromley. He actually probably could have made a team. He's up to, you can see here, 2.5 stars out of 4 stars. So he probably could have made the team, but we sent him down to Barrie to keep getting some good experience. Peter Pollock is 1.5 star, 3.5 star guy. Right, we got him in a trade with Ottawa. We traded Ottawa Matthias Ekholm, and they gave us Peter Pollock. So prospect up and coming, gonna be a little ways away. Thomas Yandel. Again, another pickup. Thomas Val. Another guy we picked up. Okay, Sebastian Petit. Right, he was a Frenchman we drafted. We sent him down to the WHL. And kept him in Seattle. We just sent him down to the Thunderbirds. And we have some more guys coming. Another draft pick, Jared Shannon, 3-star potential, half-star guy, putting up some decent points. We got him, he was our first round pick, another first round pick we had last year. So we are set for some prospects right now. We got guys kind of all over the place. Some scorers coming, some defensemen coming. Feeling pretty good about where we are. So Connor Hellbuck is our goalie. He's 4 stars because we have Connor Hellbuck as our goalie in pretty much all of our streams. That seems to be what happens. Philip Gustafson is our backup. He played in 34 games, was 18 and 10. So, you know, putting up good numbers. He's up to 2 stars, which is important. We have Jacob Skarek, I'm not really sure how to say that. 1.5 star, 3-star potential in the minors, as well as Maxim Zukov, who just hasn't quite taken that next jump. He's only at half star. Keep hoping he does. We have Lucas Wilkins in the minors, or QMJHL. Only a 2-star potential, so, you know, a little bit rough there. And Jake Cox, who is half-star talent, 2.5 star potential, I think. Yeah, so he was our second round pick because we were looking for kind of a goalie, but he didn't even actually make the Erie Otters. He got sent down to Junior B, so that's interesting. In terms of our defense, we have Rasmus Dahlin, who was our top pick. Zach Rowinski. No, was Dahlin our pick, or did we trade for him? We traded for him, right? That's what I was thinking. Yeah, so we gave up a bunch of prospects and good players to get him out of Vancouver. Zach Rowinski we just brought in. We have Cal Foote, Lightning pick, who we picked up in the expansion draft. Sami Niku was a waiver, or not a waiver claim, he was a free agent brought in. He's really shored up some of our left-hand defensemen. We have Henry Jokuharu in the minors, playing well. Good depth defenseman. Madison Bowie is an assistant captain. Just a good, strong defenseman. Of course, Tyler Myers in the minors doing his job. Luke Martin, 2 stars. Luke Martin could eventually find his way up as well. Logan Stanley currently is on the team, just as basically our number 7 defenseman. And we got some other guys in the minors like Shea Theodore. Last year we were really hit hard by injuries, which kind of changed some of the stuff. We also have Kyle Connor, who's been kind of ripping it up for us. He keeps getting better. 73 points in 82 games last year. Our first year, he had 67 points, 23 goals, so continues to improve. Christian Vesalainen is up to 3.5 stars. You can see his big increase. Went from 7 goals to 21 goals, continuing to get better. Brett Howden, a little bit dipped in production, but he was playing less minutes, so that's okay. We got a lot of guys, again, in the minors who hopefully can turn out at some point. So just taking a quick look. Peter Reynolds, who was our first round pick our first year, ripped it up in the QMJHL. 125 points in 57 games. He's at 2.5 stars. He's making the team this year. He jumped over guys like Zach Gallant, Dylan Dubé, and Derek Gentile. Adam Marchation, who's been a very solid centerman for us, 58 points in back-to-back years. Hopefully keeps that production up. Nick Suzuki, up to 50 points after only 17 and 41 games the year before. So, again, good increase. So what we brought Jacob Voracek in basically to be another scoring guy. He had a bit of a dip in production, but we're hoping he can kind of bring a little bit more. Teg Thompson has been a great bottom 6 guy. Jesper Bratt has been a constant scorer for us, 60 points. Nate Bastian, again, good depth guy, 7 goals, 19 points. Cole Fonstad, again, another good depth guy, 2.5 stars, talent, 2.5 star potential. Sebastian Sorenson was one of our undrafted free agents we brought in. Again, he ripped up Lethbridge. He had 141 points in 72 games. Wasn't drafted, so we brought him in. Only had 21 points in limited minutes, but still very important for us. And he could easily outgrow that 2.5 star talent potential and actually go higher. Joey Anderson, again, limited minutes, 2.5 star guy. Still could do some stuff. We have some guys coming, which is good. So, with that in mind, we can take a look at a roster. We have 22 guys currently in the lineup. Joey Anderson is not dressed as Logan Stanley. Zach Rowinski is now our captain, with Bowie and Kyle Connor as sharing the assistants. Taking a look at our strategy here, we're playing the torpedo attack, as we're 5 stars for it. It kind of makes the most amount of sense. It's better than ultra conservative or early modern. Seems to be working best for us. And on defense, we're playing the 2-3 system, which again we're at 5 stars. So I mean, we could play something like pure zone defense or conservative traditional, but the 2-3 defense or neutral zone tap. But 2-3 seems to be working well for us, so why would we change it? So we can see here kind of our lineup. Voracek's coming in on the 4th line with Bastian and Sorensen. Basically, we're running lines pretty darn even. Power play and penalty kills where the difference is going to be, but we got lots of guys who can move the puck, which is kind of what we really like. hopefully eventually Peter Reynolds takes over Marchation. Marchation slips down, and we continue to get some good go. P-Wog in the chat says, go Wings. Well, let's just take a quick look at what Detroit is at here, P-Wog, just for you. They got Cam Talbot and Andre Vasilevsky in net. How did they get Vasilevsky? Must send him as a free agent. They did. Paying him almost $8 million a year. Big money. And Cam Talbot, they're paying $2.3 million. So they got a lot of money tied up in goaltending. And then Philip Honrick. And D. Not a lot of big names. Am I right? Sammy Vatanen. With Detroit. Did we trade him there? Oh, okay, couldn't remember. Signed as a free agent. Alright. Max Pacioretty is with Detroit, though. Rickard Rakell, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Philip Schultz. Okay, Marcus Granlund. Giovanni Smith. Evgeny Shchevenkov? I'll try to say that name. Okay. And Blake Wheeler's actually with Detroit. Signed as a free agent, then re-signed. Interesting move. Interesting. Alright, so our training camp development report. We can see lots of guys going up, which is what we love with our young team. Peter Reynolds got up to 2.5 stars. Bowie moved up. Just lots of guys going up in lots of different categories, which is everything we'd like to see. Going a little bit further as well, since we should look at this. Our personnel, we have, okay, so Shane Clifford is our goaltending coach. He's excellent, great. Mike Reynolds is good at everything on defense except for he's a poor offensive training. That's okay. Defense is kind of more important. We have Chris Knobloch, who is, again, good at just about everything. Chris Pronger is our skill coach, and our trainer is Jason Service, who's below average. It would be nice if we got a better trainer, but we haven't found anyone yet. Let's take a quick look again. So we go trainer, and look at training. And we have these guys at low, so we're going to keep the guy we got and run with that. But if we look at our personnel, actually finances first, we can see our current staff payroll is just over $4 million. Our budget is just 7.25. We have expenses in there as well, so we're still well within our budget. Our personnel, you can see we have lots of scouts because we are building through the draft. Our scouting, we have guys all over the place. For the most part, I do believe I have, our scouts are doing a good enough job. I'm not really worried about having them on permanent scouting. Don't have permanent scouting. P-Wog asking me if I have a cold. I've been fighting a cold for about the past 2 weeks. If you've tuned into our regular streams, I missed an episode 2 episodes ago because I wasn't feeling that great. I'm feeling a little bit better now, but still fighting it a bit. But again, we got guys scouting all over the place. If I find we're lacking in one significant area, we'll maybe consider putting somebody on a permanent scouting. But right now, I am just letting the CPU do that. And if you want to check, you go to manager options, scouting, just leaving it to the assistant. Training, also leaving it to the assistant, so I don't have to worry about that. Farm teams, we have Greensboro and Atlantic City. I want them using our best prospects as well. I don't want to control them, though. So with that, we got a game versus Toronto. Our first preseason game. Don't care that much, so send me a note. And we lose 2-1. Magnus Helleberg in net. Josh Hosang has found his way to Toronto. Interesting. And Peter Reynolds gets his first goal. Awesome. But we can't beat the Leafs, unfortunately. which isn't unexpected, but hey, you can always hope, right? And so we continue. Again, if you're not familiar with expansion, we can't realign conferences, so Seattle has joined the Central Division. So we'll play lots of games against Winnipeg, Dallas, Nashville, as that just made the most amount of sense rather than stacking up the Pacific. Salary cap reminder. So it's going from 82.5 to 75 million. I haven't really looked at what our salary cap is, but I'm pretty sure I had us in good control here. Yeah, we're at 64, just over 64 million. So we got lots of wiggle room, especially if we decide we want to add someone. But we're going to have some guys due for some contracts. If I look at upcoming free agents, Tag Thompson is an upcoming free agent. What does he want? He wants just over 4 million for 3 years. Okay, yeah, I could do that right now. That seems like a very reasonable offer. We're just kind of going to let other guys go for right now. Let them play out. If I look at our contracts, just to make sure, we're at 44 contracts as well. So again, good wiggle room for us. Game versus Anaheim. We'll put Gustafsson in net for this. Sim it out, and we get the win. Gustafsson gives up 4 goals, but we score 5. So can't complain too much about that. Scores. Tag Thompson, after getting his new contract, puts up the first goal in the second period to tie the game up. We go down 3-1. Then Jesper Bratt, Rasmus Dahlin, Kyle Connor, Tag Thompson scores another for us to win the game in the third period. Very nicely done, gentlemen. P-Wog in the chat asked me, who is your favorite non-NHL level team? It depends on the league. I mean, that's kind of the truth. If we're talking in terms of the AHL, well, I'm going to say the Moose, obviously. Kind of fun, interesting team to watch. If we're talking in terms of the ECHL, again, because Jets are my favorite team, I kind of like checking in on how the Jacksonville Icemen are doing, especially being that they are an expansion team, but they are the Jets farm team in the ECHL. If we go to the Canadian Hockey League, I have affinity for Brandon because they are my local WHL team, but I also like checking in on the Barrie Colts because of Winnipeg connections there. Mark Shafley played there. Brian Little played there. And you have Dale Howarchuk coaching. If we go to other leagues, and Hellebuck can't get a win again. Robin Liner, who's now in goal for Florida, picks up the win. Not playing great defense here. That's disappointing. European hockey, I'm less familiar with. I mean, I have some affinity for, but it's a little bit tougher for me to follow all the time, just due to time zone stuff. And but I like following like S.E. Byrne, who we played with in another stream set we did, following some of the National League. I like following a lot of guys who played with the Moose in the AHL. I like going to see what they're doing in overseas. Oh man, we lose again playing against Anaheim. Jeez. Vesalainen gets a power play goal. That's disappointing. But can't seem to get a win. So I see Burns won. Really, if a team's got an awesome name and a good logo, it's always kind of fun to watch to see if they can mimic what's going on there. So we can see there's been a minor trade here. A couple of young guys move back and forth. Sidney Crosby gets hurt. That's no good. I don't follow the KHL very much, more because it's just not a league that interests me a huge amount, personally. And Gustafsson only gets 18 shots against because of 4 goals, but again, we score 5. Down 2-0 after the first. Niku scores, go down 3-1. Suzuki scores again to tie it up. Fonstad takes the lead. Bastian buries it to put us up 5-3. They give up a goal late to get them within 1. Alright, not bad. And Nate Bastian has improved at center. Awesome. Trying to think of any other interesting leagues I do follow. It's hard to spread so thin because I do like following other sports as well. I mean, we've talked about, you know, football and baseball before. Sometimes it's a little bit easier following some of those minor league systems. Hellebuck finally picks up a win, 3-2 versus Dallas. Alright. Good. About time you got that one. I would watch the ECHL, but too expensive. Yeah, there was a fascinating article. Again, if you're a subscriber to The Athletic, there's in fact, I think they unlocked it about, I guess we're pushing close to a month ago, about a reporter's time following the Brampton Beast in the ECHL. And if you haven't read it, you should go look that up. It's a fairly long article, but absolutely worth a good read about his time, because the ECHL is such a place of mixed bag, and it really dives into the difficulty people have kind of understanding about the league, understanding the fact that you have teams that have some money and can afford to fly, and other teams that are bussing around, and what it's like to live on with some of those stuff. But we're seeing the ECHL turn a corner now that more NHL teams are getting involved too. P-Wug says, last niche sport cricket got my attention too. Oh. Niche sports are so different. I don't know that there's anything I would consider niche. I mean, cricket's one that's interested me, but it's just such a... Okay, so our number 1 player, 30, we're given A rankings. Jonas Goudreau, American-Canadian, playing with Green Bay. Already at 1.5 star talent, 5-star potential. Looks very interesting guy. Just taking a look here. Development report. A guy in the DNL, Kai Ahrens, kicking off. Half-star potential, 2-star guy. I think he was a late pick. No, pick 100, so not that late. But we can see we didn't have great scouting on him then. He was at 3.5 star, and he's down to 2 stars, so that's a little disappointing. Long matches in cricket. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's not... It's all depends what you call niche, P-Wog, because, I mean, being Canadian, I always have and always will probably watch a lot of curling, but, you know, there's not a lot but that's the thing lots of people do in Canada versus the rest of the world. I've also more recently got into watching more tennis now that I understand the sport more, but again, it kind of varies some depending on where you are. A lot of people be like, well, I've watched tennis all my life, but it's not a sport that's got a huge following in Canada. It's gotten bigger. So we've got some guys on waivers. We could lose somebody. We'll keep an eye out on waivers in case there's anyone interesting to us. Other niche sports. I don't know. Like, I mean, I used to watch UFC all the time back when, and I hate saying this, but back before UFC was popular. Which sounds kind of ridiculous, I know. But, A lot of guys. We have lots of stories of guys being waived, which is good, I guess, because you know people are going, "Oh, look at everybody being waived by them." Lots of guys. But honestly, I've kind of fallen back in with boxing again. I've always enjoyed boxing. It's such a, you know, they call it the sweet science for a reason. P-Wag also says Aussie rules football. Yeah, I don't mind Aussie rules football either. As a football fan, it's different. But so is like the Canadian game versus American. We can see Braden Shen is on waivers. Lots of the top guys are our guys. There is a good chance we might lose some guys here, but I don't really know. Okay, Pontus Albergue is on waivers. 39 points last year, 55 points the year before. Interesting. Philip Danino. 86 points in the AHL last season, kind of buried there. We're at a point now where there's lots of guys, names you might recognize, guys who just kind of have fallen off, like Adam Henrique. 43 points with Vegas, but last year, but looks like he's not going to make the NHL. Some guys dealing with injuries. Looks like we're going to leave these guys alone. There's nobody who's going to be of great help to us right away. And most of our stuff is. P-Wag says, boxing rig, loved it too, but lost some trust. Same with Poker World since Black Friday incident. Yeah, you know what? A lot of people don't know this, but there's still a huge boxing scene in Quebec, especially like Montreal. There's still lots of big fights that go on there, and you know, that's kind of where it's more interesting. It's too bad that the UFC has kind of taken over so much, because well, I said the boxing should still have a good spot for it. So early Stanley Cup favorite is Winnipeg, led by Patrick Laine. Jim Kim Chevalier has built a squad that appears to be the team to beat this year, but expect challenges from Buffalo and Toronto. Wow, we're not even considered a dark horse. That's disappointing. And not mentioned at all. Disappointing. But we push on and persevere. The thing is, though, P-Wag, you got a point where any sport can be rigged if it wants to be. I mean, you can look at something like college basketball. There's a great 30 for 30 on that. That was like the basis for Goodfellas movie, I believe, right? It's been a while. And you can see a bunch more guys on waivers as teams are trying to make sure that they are under salary cap. So we'll take a quick look at waivers again. The other Shen is on waivers. Again, if we were really looking for somebody, could be somebody of interest, but I'm not really thinking there's anyone here we need to grab. Actually, just look at the front of upcoming free agents. Austin Matthews, 25. I wonder if he's hitting unrestricted free agency. I think he would be 26. Should be close. John Tavares. Interesting. Tarasenko, Nathan McKinnon. Nolan Patrick shouldn't be there yet. Patrick Kane, Owen Tippett won't be a free agent, but that is quite the stack of guys who could become available. Or if we wanted to target anyone to try and grab them. Interesting. Alright. Just going to check my depth chart one more time. So I got a first, a second, a couple thirds, no fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. But we have an extra second next year. Okay, not bad. So we have most of our draft picks. That's good. P-Walk, just amazed the amount of knowledge your crew of hockey has. Well, I've been following hockey all my life. Jeff's been following hockey all of his life. And I mean, he's been doing this for quite a few number of years. You get raised in Canada. Oh, and we lose our first game of the season 4-0. Or 4-2 to LA. That's disappointing. Marchation opens up, scoring the first goal of the year. And then we quickly go down 2-1. Werenski ties it up. But we give up 2 more goals. Ooh, William Nylander's with LA. Interesting. And then we get into some penalty trouble early on and just can't shake the lead. But the reason we do this is because we like our sports, right? And we like hockey. We like talking about hockey. And the Jets grab Colin Miller. A Wild get Tyler Johnson. Interesting. And some more guys get hurt. We got a game versus the New York Islanders tonight. We will throw Gustafsson in net. Sim it out. And we get the win. Gustafsson picks up a shutout to redeem us. Nobody had a bad game, so that's good. Lots of penalties to start. 2 guys sitting in the Werenski and Brett Howden both get 10-minute misconducts in the first period. Ouch. And Niku scores, and then Vesalainen scores. Peter Reynolds gets his first assist. Alright. Young guys coming through, and we're up to 1-1 on the season. Bad news is Cole Fonstad got injured, and he's out for 5 months. Oh. So we have Joey Anderson, played 9 games, 2.5-star guy. I guess he's coming in for him. I'll put him on injured list since he's gone for 5 months. So where's Fonstad coming in? Not Fonstad. Anderson comes in on the 3rd line. Okay, I'm okay with that, I guess. Unless I decide to move Voracek up. I don't mind that either. Maybe we'll try that, see how that works. Alright. And continue. One of the things I've always been fascinated with games is once you get past the guys you really know. And that's why I like, I mean, in our Florida Panthers game, we're kind of almost hitting the same area. We're in 2022, so we're starting to see computer-generated guys. And that's always something that just kind of, I enjoy watching, and I kind of like learning and finding brand new guys. PUX says, report Red Wings in talks to trade Mrazek to Flyers. I actually heard that a couple days ago. They apparently offered him to the Flyers for a 3rd-round pick, and they said no. But that might have changed now since that might have changed now with the next injury. Okay, William Karlsson just got waived by Toronto. How much is he getting paid? Oh, way too much money. Never mind then. He might have been an interesting guy, but I'm not picking him up for that much money. Game versus Chicago, who hasn't lost a game yet. We will leave Hellebuck in net, sub it out, and we get the win. Not hot because apparently, which is rough, he makes 36 saves. Can't get hot. Bastion scores again, 2 goals. All right, Bastion. Peter Reynolds gets his first goal. Awesome. And we win the game. Love it. 2-1. There's the info. Yeah, I've heard they're kind of talking, but if they wouldn't take him for a 3rd rounder, I'm not really sure what Philly would be willing to give. Unless Detroit just wants to dump the contract, but I don't really see a need for that. I mean, if they wait till the end of the year, they can just let him go for nothing if they don't want him. And if they can't have Eric, they got William instead in Ottawa. Or do they have Eric still? I'm not sure. Where is Carlson? I'm not spelling that name right at all. Pretty sure their last names are spelled the same. Oh, Eric Carlson is in Ottawa. So they have Eric and William now. Alright. See if the two of them can rip it up together. Yeah. He's a restricted free agent, but if they choose not to qualify him, he becomes an unrestricted free agent, which there's rumors Detroit might do because they don't want to pay him. And they said that also if they trade him away somewhere like Philadelphia, who does have some goaltending depth, might just release him as well and let him become a free agent. Which again isn't a terrible idea. And put Hellebuck in, and Hellebuck... Uh-oh. Well, no, okay. So we win 7-6. Jordan Bington takes the overtime loss. Gustafsson only gets 3 shots against. So did we pull Hellebuck or did he get hurt? Werenski scores to open it up. Heischer ties it. Suzuki scores. Malgin scores. Marcheshin scores. Keep it 3-2. Rhett Gardner scores, tied up 3-3. Third period. Werenski ties it up. They go up 6-4. Calfoot scores. Nick Suzuki scores short-handed. Ooh, to tie it up in the final minute. And then in overtime with 3 seconds left, Tag Thompson gets his first of the year. Well done, boys. Wild, wild game. Rasmus Dahlin has converted to right defense. That's good. But it appears as though Hellebuck didn't get hurt. So that is also good news for us. Because I was a wee bit worried there. So we're 3-1 to start the year. Honestly, you talk in terms of the trade deadline. One of the most fascinating things to me is all of these people expecting the Winnipeg Jets to make a big move at the trade deadline. And honestly, I'm not really sure they make any moves at all. I could see them maybe trying to pick up a depth guy, like a 13th forward type guy, but they're not going to give up a top prospect for anyone. Oh, Hellebuck finally gets hot, but we lose the game 3-0. So that's okay. At least if he's got a little bit of hot, that's not bad. If they can pick up the right guy to come to the... See you, P-Lock. Thanks for coming out. If the Jets can pick up the right guy for the right price, whether that's a 3rd or a 4th round pick, then maybe they do it. but I don't see them giving up a top prospect for somebody who might help on this playoff run. And right now, the way the team's playing, I'm not really sure that there's much need for that. And so Sean Day gets moved for Tyler Parsons. Interesting. Game versus Vegas. Oh no, who got hurt? Brett Howden got hurt. What do you do? Bruce back day to day. Alright, so we're calling up a guy. Okay, Zach Gallant has 5 points in 5 games. Derek Gentile has 5 games, no goals. Dylan Dubé, 5 games played, 5 goals. Jansen Harkins, 6 points in 5 games, 2 goals, 4 assists. Maybe it is time for Jansen Harkins to get a crack at the NHL. I'll just take a quick look at the stats summary. Alright, we're going to call Jansen Harkins up. Give him a shot. We are going to move Harkins just into the 4th line. Then we'll move Vesalainen and Sorenson up. Game versus Vegas. We will put Gustafsson in net. Send it out, and we lose 2-1. Ouch. So what happened? Cody Glass scored. Dahlen scored to tie it up, and we give up a goal. 13 minutes left. Lots of time. How did Jansen Harkins do? 54 offensive game rating, 52 defensive game rating, 3 shots on goal, 1 missed shot. Okay, not bad in 11:54. Played 134 power play time, 147 shorthanded time. I'm okay with that. And unfortunately, we fall all the way back to a record of 500 at 3-3-0. Okay, Harkins wants number 12. I don't have a number 12, so easily given to him. Scouting reports. Good. Continuing on. Alright, game versus Winnipeg, who is currently sitting at 1-3-2. So they're having a pretty rough start to the year with all the talk of Stanley Cup contention. And, oh man, we lose 7-3. What? Benny Stenkist destroys us. What is going on? Roslovic, 1 goal, 3 assists. Philip Zadina, 2 goals, 1 assist. Luke Green, 1 goal, 1 assist. Ouch. Kyle Connerberry's on late to get it close, but man, that hurts. Huh. Maybe we're missing Brett Howden more than I thought we would be. Here, Howden's still hurt. Alright, let's create lines here, but again... Peter Reynolds is actually falling all the way to the 3rd line. I don't like that. Marcheson's up to the 1st line. Okay, I'm okay with that actually. Suzuki falls down 1. Maybe get Suzuki a little bit better matchups to help him. Voracek's up to line 4, or 2nd line. I'm good with that. Let's see if Hellebuck can do this. Sim it out, and he loses 5-3. Man, we go up 3-0 and then blow it. What is going on? Alright, we'll need Gustafsson to see if he can kind of push us back the right way. Brett Howden should be back soon. Well, that's probably a good thing right now, the way how we're playing. Gustafsson in for this game versus Colorado. And we lose again. 3-2. What? Come on. And suddenly we are 3 games under 500. And I'm not really sure what happened. Apparently Brett Howden is the linchpin to our entire team. Hellebuck in net versus San Jose, and we lose in overtime. Well, at least we pick up a point there. Get 38 shots on net, but only get 1 goal in the 1st period. That's very disappointing. Alright, let's get up to November and then we'll probably call it for the stream. So Brett Howden is back, ready to go. We're going to keep Jansen Harkins up. Oh, Sebastian Sorenson got hurt. Torn fingernail. Well, he better be able to play through that. Alright. Alright, we'll try this, see what happens. I'm scared to know where we are in the Western Conference, actually. And Sunbarchi gets moved to Vancouver from the Rangers for a 3rd round pick. Alright. And I still didn't look to see where we are because, again, I'm scared, but I will take a look here in 1 minute. We are in last place, even behind Vegas and Winnipeg. Well, Winnipeg was considered one of the top teams, so, you know, it's okay. We still got lots of time to turn this around. Sorenson's ready to go, even better. Brock Besser is out 7 weeks. Sucks for Vancouver. Game versus Carolina. Come on, Hellebuck. Get us a win. Overtime loss. You know what? That's okay. Sorenson gets a goal. First goal of the year. Alright. Kyle Connor ties it up late in the 3rd period. And we actually went to a shootout. Only goal scored was by Jeff Skinner. Take the point wherever you can get it. And hope we can turn it around. Really, we just need to start getting scoring a little bit more. Alexander Barbanoff is on waivers. I haven't actually kind of forgot to look to see what our owner was thinking. Owner confidence. Not very happy. Oh, that's not good. You might be very disappointed with our play so far. Hellebuck caught a little bit of fire. We'll run with him in this game, and we get the win, and Hellebuck gets the shutout, 5-0. That's big. He's up to 2 flames now. Marchation, Bowie. 2 goals by Bowie. Nice. Vaisalainen. Voracek scores the 2nd goal. Alright. And suddenly there's a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. After 4, 6, and 2, both of our goalies are hot. So Gustafsson will start this next game versus Pittsburgh. Great night for Alex Turcotte. Alright, 3 goals. Hat-trick. Nice. Game versus Pittsburgh. Put Gustafsson in net. Sim it out, and we lose, but Gustafsson gets hot because he made 40 saves. Disappointing, giving up 6 goals. Howden scored, Connor scored. We got our butts kicked up and down there. 472. We'll be... oh, that's rough. Not a great first month of the year, but again, could be worse. When I pick this up again, and I don't know when that'll be, it could be next week, it could be a month from now. We might pick it up on a regular Wednesday night stream too, I'm not really sure, but we could be advanced. I might advance it up past this. We might get close to the trade deadline type thing, just so there's a little bit of interest and intrigue of what's going on. Dmitry Orlov, who we traded away, just gets hurt for 5 months. Rough. And makes our trade look all that much more smart. So, game on Halloween 2022. Play this game versus San Jose. He's Hellebuck in net. Sim it out, and we win 3-1. Awesome. Sorenson scores again, Dahlin scores, and Peter Reynolds scores on the power play to make it 3-1. Love it. And Jacob Voracek has reached 500 assists in his NHL career. Awesome. Only played 11 minutes a night, which is kind of what we're expecting. I just want everyone to play in over 10 minutes. That's my goal. Not everyone's going to get there, but roughly that's what we want. That way we keep legs fresh. And hopefully that way we get a few less injuries so nobody's overplaying. Plus we have 4 good lines that we can basically roll. So what's going on? Jack Eichel is a top player. having 23 points in 14 games, and Michael Hutchison, who's the goaltender for the Rangers, had a great start to the month. Heat rating of 4, but he went 10-2 with 2 shutouts. 174 goals against and 931 save. Very nice. Alright, so we are 2 games under 500. We can see everybody's going up except for Voracek and Tyler Myers. Okay, Ethan Kempen, who's starting this year down in the minors in the ECHL, has 16 points in 14 games. Alright, like it. Pollock has 11 points in 14 games. Alright. How's Sebastian Petit doing? 9 points in 13 games. Good for him. Thomas Yanda hasn't played a game yet. Disappointing. Now there's Martin Valesi. Must be some good guys on our ECHL team. They're putting up lots of points, so they're obviously getting some wins. Ooh, that's big. Jacob Skarek has gone up to 2 stars. So he's went from his 1.5 to 2 stars. That's good news for us. Oh, and Matthew Savoy has got up to 1 star. I thought he was only at half, but I could be wrong. Maybe he was. Andrew Bromley, 21 points through 16 games. And lots of good stuff happening here. Alright. So, game versus Tampa Bay. Put Gustafson in net since it was a back-to-back. He's up to 3 flames. And he's up to 4 flames, but we got a loss. Oh, disappointing start. But our goalies are getting hot, which is very important for us going forward. Board confidence update. Our owner is happy that we played better than expected, so that's a surprise. Alright. Not gonna be mad that he's happy. So I think this is probably where I'll call the stream for today. So thank you very much for tuning in to another Franchise Hockey Manager 4 stream. We typically stream every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/OOTP Developments. Although we occasionally do other streams like this. You can find out when we do these streams by following us on Twitter, which is @FranchiseHockey. You can also find out by following us on our Discord. Our Discord link is in our Twitter profile. You can also find us on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Franchise Hockey Manager. You can also reach out to us on our official website, which is ootpdevelopments.com. Click on the community button in the top right-hand corner, and you will find our official forums, which might be busy in the next few days. All of our videos are also archived, which is maybe where you're watching this now, on our official YouTube page, which is youtube.com/OOTP Developments as well. So thank you very much for tuning in, and we will see you all again very soon.